So Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a prequel slash spin-off to the massively successful Harry Potter franchise. It tells the story of Newt Scamander, a man who has dedicated his life to studying magical creatures. Some of his own creatures have escaped, so now he, alongside some newfound friends, need to find them and capture them, while also uncovering a secret conspiracy that could very well expose the wizarding world. So I love Harry Potter. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's one of my favorite franchises. Awesome characters, awesome locations, awesome creatures, it's just awesome. It created a world that people genuinely wanted to be a part of, whether it be attending Hogwarts or playing Quidditch. It's the Golden Snitch!
What an idiot!
So when I heard they were making a spin-off that takes place in the exact same world of Harry Potter, I immediately got excited. I was also happy to see that David Yates was directing, who directed the last 4 Harry Potter movies, and this is also the very first screenplay from J.K. Rowling, who wrote all of the Harry Potter books. And yeah, I gotta say, this movie's pretty darn good. I think the thing that I love most about this movie was the world that it takes place in. The wizarding world of Harry Potter is one of the most interesting and unique settings in any franchise ever, I think. The movie does take place in 1920s era New York, which is one of my favorite time periods. I will say at times it didn't feel like they explored the setting to its full potential, and I think they knew this because there's this one scene that's really cool that takes place in like this wizarding speakeasy with like this Ron Perlman goblin that's the head of it, and it's really cool. It totally fits that 1920s vibe, but I just feel like it didn't really have much relevance to the rest of the movie. It felt like it was kind of just thrown in there because they knew that the setting wasn't fully explored. I like that scene, it was a really cool scene and I'm glad it was in the movie. It's just in terms of the story, it didn't really have much relevance, but it was still really cool to see. All the characters I thought were really good too. Eddie Redmayne I thought did a great job in the lead role. He really felt like he fit in this universe. Catherine Waterston did a good job in the female lead. I don't feel like her acting is the best acting in the world, but as far as this character goes, she was fine. There was one character that I was a little concerned about going into it, and that was Kowalski, played by Dan Fogler. When I first saw this character, I thought to myself, oh no, this is going to be the Jar Jar Binks of the movie, isn't it? This is going to be the annoying forced comic relief that's just in it to add more levity and is just annoying. But that's not what it is at all. In fact, Kowalski was my favorite character in the entire movie.
You serious?
He is the comic relief, yes, but he never feels like a bumbling idiot and he never becomes overly obnoxious or annoying. He's a very likable character, he has relevance to the story and the plot, and he's actually funny. He's the perfect example of a comic relief sidekick done right, so basically the exact opposite of all of these guys.
Lisa going underwater, okay?
Who's your daddy now, huh? You got all eight yeah, like Terminator, but without the tuh.
Since the movie is called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, it better have some Fantastic Beasts. And tell you where the heck they are.
Where they at, though? Where they at, though?
And yeah, the creatures in this movie are really cool. I wouldn't say they're as cool as creatures like Buckbeak and the dragon from Goblet of Fire, but they're still unique and interesting. I won't go into too much detail about every single creature because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but there is this one character called Niffler who I'm sure is going to be a big fan favorite creature. He was really funny, he was really cute, and yeah, he's going to sell a lot of merchandise.
Merchandising.
All the creatures are really well designed and really well animated, and it was just really fun to see these characters interact with these creatures and trying to capture them again. However, while all of that stuff's going on with trying to capture all the creatures, there's another plot going on which kinda leads into my problems with the movie. You see, I went into this movie expecting a spin-off, and it is kind of a spin-off, but really it's more of a prequel. While Newt Scamander and all his friends are doing all the fun, trying to find the monsters, having a great time, there's another subplot going on regarding Colin Farrell's character, which wasn't as engaging and didn't really feel related to the whole trying to find all the creatures thing. Colin Farrell's character, by the way, felt very boring. I was actually very surprised. Colin Farrell is a fantastic actor and he's definitely proven himself in Hollywood, but his character felt very underacted, very bland, very boring, and yeah, it felt like they wasted the potential of a great actor with this character. But yeah, this subplot is much darker, much more serious, and it felt like an almost completely different movie. I didn't really understand why this subplot was in the movie until the end, which I was like, oh, okay, They want to make sequels. I understand why that was thrown in now. Which, by the way, they're making 5 sequels to this, so yeah, be ready for that.
Money, money, money.
And what I mean by that is there is this one character who was in the movie who is a well-ish known Harry Potter character. I don't think casual fans would really recognize him, but if you're a big fan of Harry Potter, you'll definitely recognize him. But it felt like this character was included in the movie just to make sequels. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say who it is, but this character shows up at the very beginning of the movie and at the very end of the movie and is only mentioned like a couple times throughout the entire movie. It was cool to see this character, but every time this character was mentioned, it felt very distracting and felt like it had almost no relevance to the rest of the story. It felt kinda what they did to Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman, where they were just trying to set up future movies. It's not a huge deal, but I feel like this movie would have been much better if they just focused on Newt Scamander's story and didn't try to include this whole dark, epic, we gotta make a franchise out of this story. And I think that would have worked a lot better. I feel like what they're gonna do with the 5 sequels that are supposed to happen is that they're not really gonna be sequels per se, but rather spin-offs of each other, like kind of like what they did with the Marvel movies, where they're all separate, but they're somewhat connected by characters, and you know what I mean. So there's that, and there are a couple other flaws in the movie, like John Voight's in this movie for some reason, and he has a subplot that just felt completely underdeveloped. I don't even know why they bothered putting it in the movie. It just, I don't even know.
Fish, river style.
As far as the direction go, it's overall great, but there was some strange editing choices, and this is the first screenplay from J.K. Rowling, and at times it really does show. Like I mentioned earlier, there were certain elements and certain characters that felt thrown into the movie just to set up future sequels. Some of the pacing felt very awkward in a lot of areas, and also some of the dialogue felt very cliche and very uninteresting, which I was surprised because normally she's really good with that. So yes, I do have some issues with this movie, but in the long run they're minor and they can be overlooked. It has great characters, great creatures, a great world, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. So yeah, that's all I got. I made it and I like movies. See you guys later.